Welcome. We are recording. This is episode 2 of Pink Girl Media video version. And today I have Ashley and Rachel from Bright Zebra Marketing. I'm so excited. Welcome, guys, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Hey, thank you. Happy to be here.
Yes. So I'll just have you two introduce yourselves and your business and maybe your backgrounds.
Cool. Sounds good.
Ashley?
Sure. Ashley Spurlock. I'm from Colorado, but moved to Utah when I was in high school. I have a little toddler. I have about 13 years of experience in marketing. About a year ago, I moved from the corporate world to do more home-based work and start Bright Zebra Marketing with Rachel. So
Awesome.
I love reading, Diet Coke, and skiing. So yeah, that's about me.
Did you say singing?
No, skiing. You know what though? I do wish, literally, if I could pick a talent, that's what it would be.
Rachel's like, I didn't know this
Very-
about you.
I was just going to be like, that's a bold-faced lie.
You know, I do sing at home a lot. It's not good.
This is awesome.
It's not good.
She's like, liar.
Thanks for calling me out though.
I just teasing.
Skiing.
I'm sure you didn't say singing, but I heard singing.
It's awesome.
Is your audio okay, Rachel?
Oh, I hear you loud and clear.
Oh, that's awesome.
Skiing.
Gotta stop touching
How
my-
well does your best friend know you?
Tell us about your fake talents, Rachel.
my fake talents. I have so many. Where do I begin? I actually just earlier today had to demonstrate my life hack for how to easily pit a bell pepper for my team at work.
Nice.
That's the coolest thing that's happened to me lately.
That is very random
You're
for
good
a
at
work
that.
meeting.
I don't know why they all needed to know that, but apparently they did.
How did that come up?
I mean, I don't want to go too far on a tangent here, but every week we have a department-wide metrics meeting where we talk about how the company is performing and how marketing is performing. And then at the end, we usually have people give trip reports of where they've been traveling, but we can't do that right now because the last time we did do that, and everybody
Trip reports, bell pepper.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the connection yet, but I'm excited to see it.
So what they decided to do was to have a few people share one cool thing. And they said it could be a hobby or a life hack or
And the first thing that popped in your mind was
You're
bell
like,
peppers.
bell pepper.
Listen. There is very little cool about my life right now. And so I was like, I don't know what the F I'm going to share, but I will. So I gave them two options. I was like, I'll either show you some of my artwork because I used to have an art business.
That's
Okay,
super
that's
cool.
cool.
That's way cool.
Or I'll show you how to get a bell pepper, and they chose bell pepper.
Well, that's rude. You shouldn't have given them a choice.
Well, I didn't know what.
I will be showing my art.
Were you like, hold up, I have a bell pepper in my fridge right now.
I have it ready to go.
Okay,
I'll have a demo
this
for
is
you.
the best
And
episode
also-
ever.
Also, if you go to my personal Instagram, rachel.complain, you can see my highlight of how it is, and it's actually pretty dang cool.
Okay, yes. Got some
We'll
promotion
change
in
it
there.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see how you open a banana with no hands and an apple just split in half.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
I actually do have a cool way to open a banana because I used to work at Cold Stone when I was
Oh, yes.
younger, and
This is awesome.
we learned very efficient ways to do that. Anyway, that's it.
Excellent.
Maybe
It's good to know.
myself now that everybody thinks I'm the lamest person in the world.
No.
Awesome.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Thomas Cole, and I am a mom of an almost 18-month-old boy named Dax, and he's the cutest guy ever. And I am from Southern California originally. I lived in Utah for a long, long time though, and I have been working in the high-tech industry for over 10 years in different marketing professions. So let's see, what things that I enjoy, alone time, bathtub, pedicures, books. I used to enjoy books. I don't have a lot of time I listen to books now, but the physical act of reading books is, Ashley and I are both have English degrees.
Oh, yes.
We're big into reading.
Awesome.
And
No wonder we're friends. We were
I know.
instant friends.
Kindred
Diet
spirits.
Coke and reading, and there's
Yeah.
platinum. Come on, yes.
I am a Coke Zero drinker. I hate Diet Coke. I think it's disgusting. And I
You don't have to say it though.
prefer-
It's okay.
I prefer regular Coke, but I'm into like Coke Zero these days because of my hips.
Awesome. We will still like you. It's
Oh,
fine.
that's fine. Yeah, I
We
appreciate
will. We do.
it. I'm not in the DC club. Sorry. Can't
It's
do it.
okay. It's okay. Coke Zero's pretty good.
Yes. So you guys, how did you two meet?
Ooh.
Because you were doing
Twen-
your own things.
Yeah.
Mhm. We actually worked together. How long has it been? Has it been 5 or 6 years?
2014, February 2014.
Oh,
6
okay.
years ago.
So
I actually helped interview Ashley for a job at the company I was working at.
Cool.
And I interviewed her. We had interviewed a lot of duds. And I told the hiring manager, like, this is your
I don't
girl.
remember that.
You must hire her.
This is your girl. Love it.
Yeah, I just said, she's the one, you have to hire her. And it was like it was a content marketing position at the time. And anyway, so we worked together for several years and we were actually counterparts and almost pitted against each other because we were like, it's almost like our teams
It's a
were
good
like
story.
really weirdly competing,
What?
but we were counterparts. So we were doing the same job, but for different teams.
Yeah.
Teams, yeah, personas.
And so we just would have to meet. We decided we were going to start to meet regularly with each other just to like touch base. And because we started doing that, like it kind of came to light the feelings about the competition. And then we were just like, we're not going to do that.
Love
And
that.
it took a long time, but eventually I wore Ashley down and she started to trust me. And,
It's true. That's actually true.
and then we became really good friends and we have been ever since.
Love this.
That's true.
You were meant to be enemies, but no.
Yes. Blonde, brunette, yin and yang. I don't know. Could go either way.
So what made you take the jump together and say, hey, let's break out on our own, do our own marketing company?
That's a good story, actually.
Yes, and that story spans many, many years. Ashley,
I think we calculated it the other day, 5 years ago, maybe. So what, if we've known each other for 6 years, would have been a year after we met, maybe. We were in Cleveland, Ohio at Content Marketing World, actually. And we were at this like terrible wing place. Like there was like nowhere to eat near our hotel. And we're like starving. And so we're sitting there and it's like super loud and the food was so gross. And we were just talking about
raining.
Oh, I don't remember if it was raining. I just remember like the table was sticky. It wasn't good. But they had Coke. I think they had Coke.
Yeah, and that was why we chose. That's how we choose places to eat.
If it has Pepsi, we're not going.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and
Love
we were just
this.
sitting there and we were talking about work, and then the conversation came up, you know, I think I threw out there, like, if we ever wanted to go out on our own, like we should start an agency, like a marketing agency, like we could kill it. And Rachel at that time was living in Miami. So maybe it was a little bit sooner than 5 years. I don't know. And I was pregnant. I didn't know it.
5 years since I moved there, if you could believe it.
Oh, okay. So maybe that was your first like work travel after you moved, maybe. But so I was pregnant, Rachel was in Miami, and I was still living in Utah, and it just kind of, the conversation kind of fizzled. And you know,
the way she presented it, I was like, I didn't think she was serious. But in my mind, I was like, that would be dope.
It'd be dope. But we didn't, I guess at that point we didn't really know each other that well, like for a year.
Yeah.
And then Rachel, you pick up the rest.
Yeah. Okay. So then my journey while I was in Miami, my husband was in PA school and it was very grueling. So I was like by myself a lot in a high-rise apartment, working from home. Nobody else was there. I didn't have like friends. I had some friends, but I didn't have like a close friendship or like support group near me. And I was literally, it was during like one of the hardest times of my career. And I was kind of losing my mind. I was just like feeling stuck in my job and I needed a creative outlet. And so I decided to start doing some artwork. And long story short, that I created an art business and it went pretty well. I was doing custom illustrations. I did it for almost 2 years. I did it. And that I was literally I would work all day and I would stay up till 3 a.m. drawing. And then I would go to sleep and I would wake up and do the whole thing over again. And was completely energized by it because I had like a creative thing to do and I was in the flow. And it was like saving my attitude at work, because at work I was just like, anyway, so I went, long story short, I needed to figure out how to scale the art business. And when we moved back to Utah, I went to Allison's brand school. I had just gotten pregnant, and it was like, as soon as I found out I was pregnant, I was like, I have to start a better business right now.
Yes.
Because I know now that I want to be able to, I need to be able to keep working, and I want to be able to keep working. Like, I need it for me. I don't need it for, my husband works, but I need it for me. But I also want to be with my son, and I want to have control over my schedule. And so I need to figure out a way to make this art business work. And so I went to Allison's brand school with my mom, and who also was working on something at the time. And while I was there, I already kind of started thinking about, like, what do I have to offer the world that like could actually become a fruitful business? Because trading my artwork for money was kind of like, it was a really fun hobby. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really make a lot of profit from it when it came to like purchasing materials and the time that it was taking me to do it. So while I was there, I met like 100 different female entrepreneurs, and I was starting to talk to them, and I realized they're here to learn how to like create a good brand structure for their business, but they don't know the next pieces to that, which is marketing. And I just happen to be highly trained in marketing, and I have a lot of experience. I'm like, I can teach. They need me. These women need me. I have something to offer. I can help. And so after that, Ashley and I I was thinking about it for a little while, and Ashley and I ended up meeting for lunch one day, I think when I was like 8 months pregnant. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to start this business doing this. Do you want in? And she was like, yeah, definitely. So
that's awesome.
At that point, I was like really ready to build something of my own. I had a 2-year-old at home, and I was ready for that flexibility. Yeah. And I was kind of making a plan of like, how am I going to do that? How am I going to not be 9 to 5 anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it's been extra, I think, difficult for us because our industry is high paying, and we've had really good careers. Yeah. And so it will take us a long time to get to a point where, to build a business to replace our incomes. And so it's kind of overwhelming, but both of us feel that passion so much, and we want that for ourselves. But when we like look at our why as to what we're doing, we realize what we want to do is create a new world where it's normal for women to have the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Where it's normal for women to be able to work and control their schedules and contribute to society in the ways that they want to contribute, while also feeling like they are amazing moms and able to be with their kids in the way that they want to be with their kids.
Love that. Yeah. I love too that you both were pregnant during big transitions. Like I remember applying for a job 8 months or 7 months pregnant, 8 months with my third. And like the guy who's interviewing me was like, what are you doing? Like he couldn't come out and be like,
I was like,
but he was like, he did was like, oh, are you like expecting? I was like, yeah, anyway, back to where we are, and I think he was just like, what?
I think there might be something for type A women that like is more motivating than finding out you're going to be pregnant and like, down for
what are you going to do about it?
Right? Yeah. Like you're like, oh, we got to be creative. We got to get the ball rolling.
Find some solutions here, people.
Yeah, like some people nest, which is awesome. No, I come up with new business plans.
My nesting was not the house. It was
same
work. Absolutely.
Yeah. Isn't that funny?
So so when I was 8 months pregnant, I was like, okay, but I guess I shouldn't start it now because it was like
I got something going on.
Yeah. But so actually when I was 3 months postpartum, we decided to like meet after I was done with maternity leave. And when I was almost 3 months postpartum, we met again, and we just were like, let's do it. And we created our Instagram account and we got a logo
Love that.
design, and it's been a little bit over a year.
Okay,
now.
awesome. Well, and I love too that that your company, your business markets towards those mompreneurs. Like you were saying,
Yeah.
we can have the best of both worlds. It seems really hard right now, but there's got to be hope that we can get there, right?
Yeah.
I'm super passionate about that too.
Yeah, and so in our minds, the way that we do this is by helping other women build successful businesses. Like
Love
we need
that.
to help other women make enough money so that they can do that and
Yeah.
have fruitful businesses. And we have a lot of experience and the tools to help other women do that. So I feel very called to help
Sure.
women.
Yeah.
Well, because so much of society tells us like you have to choose, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yet for men, it's not a matter of like you can either have a career or be a parent. It's always just kind of both. So why can't it be that way for us?
Yeah.
We're gonna
It's all
get
about your
there.
partner, right?
And why
It's-
can't it be more acceptable for a man who would rather be a stay-at-home dad?
To do it.
I'll tell you, my husband would rather do that.
My husband would be better
he-
at doing
he won't do
the
it
stay-at-home
because
life.
there's too much pressure
Yeah.
to be a provider.
Yeah.
I think the best advice I've heard about that is you can have everything you want, just maybe not all at the same time
Yes.
immediately, right? You
Yeah.
have to build it step by step and really prioritize what those things are.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
I agree.
Unfortunately,
what-
right now it does take a certain amount of sacrifice,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in times and seasons.
For sure.
Yep.
For
Yeah,
sure.
exactly. That could be the trigger event of being pregnant. That's the season. That's the kickoff for the season, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like, when I stopped teaching and kind of just shifted my career, it was like a loss. It was like mourning almost.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Have
Absolutely.
you felt that too, where you're like, you almost mourn your dreams a little and you feel
Yes.
like, who am I
Yeah.
now being home?
Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast episode.
Oh, yeah.
Because I could talk for days about it.
Yeah.
Totally. Same.
Yeah.
And I feel like postpartum, like I struggled really badly with postpartum after two of the three.
Same.
And it was just like the wheels were turning, like, how can I like survive and thrive and
Yeah. I think during my maternity leave, I had kind of, hoped to, I was nervous about going back. My maternity leave was really short too. It was like 7 weeks. And I was super nervous about going back, but I think going back is what helped me
That's awesome.
come out of it. That
Yeah.
helped me a lot.
You know what's really interesting is both Ashley and I, we used to talk before we both had kids. We used to talk about how it was hard for us to imagine having kids because we love working. And then we wanted kids. It was like, I don't know, I don't want to stop working though. And then we have to fight against all these cultural stigmas of like, if you're working, then you can't be a good mom. If you're working, then somebody else is raising your child, which is false, by the way. But you know what I mean? Like there's all those stigmas attached to it. And we were both fighting that, especially, here in Utah where we live.
Yes.
Huge
cultural barriers. Yeah.
Both of us were like, I would never want to stop working. And then once Ashley got pregnant first, and when she had her son, she going back to work helped her, but then it like flipped something in her. She was like, okay, like I need something. I don't want to stop working, but I can't keep working this way.
Yeah. Love that.
And I know we're really lucky because we live in a place and a day and age where companies are trying to be more female friendly and trying to be more family friendly. Like the companies that we've worked at have great maternity leave policies, and they have mothers lounges there where you can pump in privacy.
I love that.
Closet or in the bathroom stall.
Yay!
Yeah. But it's still not good enough. It's still not
enough.
So that's why we have to make it work for ourselves.
So you both work full time, and then Bright Zebra is your side hustle.
Yeah. Well, so Rachel has a corporate full-time job right now, and I do freelance writing. I just got this message that it's been upgraded. Great. I do freelance writing like pretty much full time.
Okay.
So I just I moved from a 9-to-5 office building to a like work all the time at home. But it's so great because you know what, it's so
awesome.
nice to eat lunch with my toddler. It's so nice to put him down for a nap. you know, if I can move meetings to what works better for our schedule. And it's
Yeah.
just,
Well, and I think
it's
all
hard, but
three of
it's worth it.
us don't, I think all three of us use sitters too, right?
Yeah.
Or
Well, we were
sometimes,
talking
yeah.
about this before, right? Yeah. I was telling you before we started, like on a week where I had a bunch of work, I would hire a sitter. And
Right.
now during Corona, it's a little more difficult.
Right. And I have
Yeah.
one too. And I've had to be like, I'm sorry, when this comes down,
Yeah.
I'll support you. But I
Yeah.
think that's a huge thing to tell women in business is it's okay to hire help, and it's good and it's
Totally.
healthy, even if you work from home. Even,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you've got to have your time.
Yeah.
I,
There's
I
a local,
literally have my sister living with me.
yeah,
as
Rachel
my
has the best setup.
To
and
help you. That's awesome.
yes, and not only I pay her, but I pay for her living expenses, and it's mutually beneficial right now. You know, and now she's just stuck here because of COVID. She can't go anywhere.
Yeah. Just the quarantine's the best thing that's happened for you.
Yeah, so I am not hating quarantine, but I mean I say that with as much sensitivity as I can, knowing that it's really hard for other people.
Sure.
It's hard for me
Absolutely.
too, but it's also given me the opportunity to be home more, which I love.
Yeah.
But I still have to be. I work all day, almost every day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
work from 8 or 9 in the morning until 11, sometimes 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I take time at lunch to be with my son. I take time after 5 until 7 when he goes to bed to be with my son, and then sometimes I take time to reconnect with my husband. But I literally work all day every day, and I can't get as many things done as I need to without having a sitter.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I have had to, sometimes I feel like, am I letting my sister raise my son? And I keep coming back to, of course I'm not. I make every decision for him in his life. It's all she does my wishes. And I'm serious. Like, I decide what kinds of foods he eats. I decide what we teach him, what his schedule is. I decide all of those things. That's me parenting him. And I am also very available, and I am very present with him when I'm with him, as far as like affection and spending time with him on the weekends. That is like my time for my son and my husband.
Awesome.
And I never work on Sundays, just so I can have that time. And yes, I wish I had more time. That's what we're working toward. But I am absolutely actively and presently raising my son, nobody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Do you feel like, what are some of the challenges that, having your own company provides, I guess is the word, offers?
I mean, the list
Throws
is
at
long
us.
but distinguished.
Yeah.
Where do we start?
Right. The top 5.
I mean, it's different when it's your own, like you should treat, like working in a corporate situation, obviously you should treat like those budgets like they're your own, of course, but it flips the switch a little bit higher when it's your own money and you're the one that's investing. We tried to be really lean on a lot of things, and we tried to make really smart decisions and really be calculated in like the tools we use or what we're going to target and all those things. And so I think the financial aspect can be a challenge if you're maybe not used to that.
Yeah. I think for me, I'm an Enneagram type 1. And for us, like, there's always just like, we have like a very difficult relationship with time. I never feel like I have enough, and I get very jealous of and protective of my time. And so, and I'm just kind of I'm so passionate about what I'm doing. Like, I can't wait to finish my day job so I can start on my night job with Bright Zebra. And I get very frustrated when I feel like we're not moving fast enough. And because we don't have a lot of time to put into it like we want to, it's not full time, it's part time. But I calculated it, and I probably work, I probably work 15 to 25 hours a week on Bright Zebra.
Oh yeah.
And I just wish we were moving faster, and I'm used to a faster moving pace because of my day job. And so for me, that's really painful. And then feeling like every once in a while I have to look at myself and be like, am I neglecting my family? Am I neglecting more so my husband? Because I think I'm really good about being present with my son, but then my husband needs me too. And
for sure.
And but he's not the type of person to just like come out and say it.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to stop and then sometimes there are things that happen that I get irritated that they're getting in my way of getting something done for Bright Zebra and stuff like that. So for me, timing has been the hardest part.
I think to that point, when we were talking before this call, we talk about how we both live by our calendars, like just live and die by the calendar, right? Whatever that block of time is for, that's what we have to apply
focus
it for.
on.
Yeah. Even though I hate living that way, and I would rather just do whatever comes to my heart.
I love it.
But
I'm a huge fan.
I appreciate having the structure because it's how I get results and how I get things done.
Yeah.
One thing that we have done recently that has helped a ton with this is we moved to A weeks and B weeks in our business. So now instead of just taking client calls all the time, like anytime, we only take them every other week. So we've got them all onto a schedule now where 1 week we dedicate that week to doing the client calls and the coaching work. And then the next week is all an implementation week. It's an implementation week for our clients to get all the stuff done that we've like talked about achieving and that are on the to-do list.
That's
but
brilliant.
It's also an implementation week for us so that we can get
our stuff done, work on our list.
We're trying to build a course, we're trying to start a podcast, we've got to batch our content for Instagram, we're trying to move some tools around right now. And so we need that time to I'm just the type of person I can't just connect and disconnect from work like in 30 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I need to have sit down
hours
or sit down and do a do I need to know I can do deep work and be uninterrupted.
Yes.
So that switch to having the 1 week where we can do the implementation and batching content for the next week and stuff like that has helped.
That's awesome.
Much.
Yeah.
And how do you divide up like who does what? How has that worked out?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Rachel handles most of our all of our social media. She's like the face of our IG. I'm trying to work up the courage to be more in front of the camera.
I saw your post the other day. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's
How
cool.
You introduced yourself.
But I should probably story it up. I haven't done that yet.
Story
Working
it
on
up.
it. She's gonna order a ring light.
She's very private, so it's a little.
Yeah. I'm a little bit, definitely more private than Rachel.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's totally fine. And then we have a lot of like operations and financial stuff, and that's usually in my court. Rachel does a lot of the creative direction, and she's really like the type 1 part. She's really good at process. So like creating templates and processes is like her where she shines and her magic. Did I miss anything, Rachel?
Yeah. So the only thing I would add to that is we just kind of split up the client work as well. So
okay.
We
that's kind of the biggest one probably.
We were both coaching when we first got started. When we first got started. And then I'm very hungry right now. As my brain is
I get you.
Very hungry. So
I told my mom, I was like, okay, we're social distancing. We are homeschooling.
Global fasting.
And now we're global fasting. Yeah. I don't know if I can take it. Nothing against fasting and prayer. I'm all about it. But like.
Totally.
I have noticed that when I get extra hungry, I can't focus as well. And my brain just starts to like give out on me. I can't shop if I'm hungry. Like I must be fed. I will just get grumpy and be like,
same. That's why I told the kids I'm done homeschooling. I think because it was the hunger speaking.
That was today. Oh, that was today.
That was today. So it may not be permanent.
I think Monday you're going to feel refreshed.
Yeah.
I think you're going to feel refreshed.
Okay, yes.
So
Rachel's right. The client, we split client work. At the beginning it was 2-on-1. That's a lot.
Oh yeah.
2 people. Yeah. So
it was a lot for us. And then we started to feel like it's really nice to have both of our brains because we both have different strengths.
Yeah.
It's really nice to have both of our brains on a project, but the client work, in order for us to scale, we had to split it up, but also we just didn't want to intimidate people by being 2-on-1.
Yeah.
So
right.
A bit more intimate and I think safer feeling. And so that's
because do you do any done for you service, or are you doing more of the coaching side?
We did just wrap up with a client where we did a lot of extra work for them, and we don't usually do that. This was a special circumstance, and a friend of ours, and so we did that for them. But we most of the time we do coaching, and we give you our frameworks, we teach you our processes, we coach you and tell you exactly how to do it. And sometimes I'll step in and help, like we'll step in and edit, or we'll give you feedback and things like that. Yeah. But the whole point of us coaching is to help women learn how to do this for themselves.
Yeah.
So we are doing it for them. And I know some people would rather just pay somebody to do it for them.
Right.
But when it comes to your business and your marketing strategy, you have to learn how to do that for yourself, unless you're going to hire a full-time FTE to do that. Like, you just have to learn how to do this for yourself, because it's going to change over time, and you need to know how to go back and update it yourself, and do it quickly.
Yeah, you can't just do it once and be successful. If you are in it for the long haul, you're going to need to learn those principles, and that's the whole point of our business, right? Is teaching them and empowering them to do that again and again, right? So they don't have to hire someone every time, or
Although I suppose if you wanted to hire us forever, that's fine
too. That's fine too.
If they wanted that.
Yeah. So do you focus more on product based or service based businesses?
We have clients with both. Would you say, Rachel?
Yeah, we do have clients for both, but I think what we're finding is our preferred audience is either selling digital products, which could be like you could call your coaching a digital product, and you have you may sell like digital courses and things like that. So like digital products or physical products.
Okay, yeah. And is there a wide range of like ideal clients you have, or do you have like one kind of niche? I know I went to one of your trainings and it was awesome. That's how we met. And you talked about like talking to your ideal client. Do you feel like you guys have just one or more than one?
Well,
Go ahead, Ashley.
Oh, I was just say right now, for sure, we just have one, and it's kind of what we taught in that workshop, which is they're people like us. They are moms with small businesses and it's pretty targeted. And we have a persona written out where we know exactly what their pains are. We've vetted that through our audience and through other people that we know. We feel really clear on what they struggle with and how we can solve their pains.
Yeah. And specifically for we've been working on niching down even further, and sometimes it just takes some time to figure that out.
Sure.
Trial and error, but specifically coaching other coaches and those who produce like a physical product that they have. So like specifically women who have to do a lot of selling on Instagram and things like that.
Yeah. Well, and you guys do a fantastic job on Instagram, especially. I mean, as an Instagram strategist, I love to follow people who do well at Instagram, and you guys are one of them. But
that's all
fantastic content.
I have invested a lot in learning Instagram. I have taken Allison Faulkner's
IG for you
course. I have taken 2 courses from Anna is the Worst. I have really invested in that, and I feel like that's something that if you want to build up your Instagram, that everyone should do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, Instagram is where so many of us buy and sell now.
Yeah.
And I've noticed a lot of people are they're staying in Facebook groups, but they're moving over to Instagram, and that's the place to be right now.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what you guys are seeing?
Yeah, especially for our target market. It depends on what product you're selling and who they are. I was talking to a client last night, and her persona is not on Instagram. They are on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Oh, really?
It's like 55-year-old men. So they're not on Instagram.
Sure.
So it depends on who your persona is, but our persona is absolutely on Instagram.
The mompreneurs that have businesses. Yeah.
If your audience is women, I think Instagram is definitely going to be in your channel mix.
Yeah.
If it's men, you're looking somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it depends on what you're selling and how they like to interact with your brand.
Yeah. Well, and I think if you're younger than 50, your ideal client is younger than 50, they're on Instagram. Wouldn't you say a lot of the time when it comes to or Rachel, go ahead. You look like you want to say something. I could be off.
I'm just thinking through it, and
You're the marketing experts, not me.
I think if it's a woman, that's a really safe bet.
Absolutely.
I think
Okay.
for men, especially men that are like older millennials and then a little bit older than millennials, they're not that active on
Right.
Instagram.
At least not with brands. They're maybe they're there for other things.
Sports.
They're not,
They're there for sports.
yeah. Yeah.
But if you're a woman entrepreneur, yeah, younger than 50.
Even if you're a woman who's not an entrepreneur, I think you're also interacting with other brands. Like the influencer scene is really big.
For
and
sure.
it's like you're interacting with a brand, but not necessarily, right? It's a more personal connection. So
Yeah.
And I think that Facebook is being used more so as like a perk that you get when you work with someone.
Yes, a community.
You go by a
community on Facebook. And so I think that's where Facebook is going right now.
Yeah.
And less so about like the daily posts on your own page.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Well, I think the great thing about Instagram is it's the idea of like a picture speaks 1,000 words, and stories are huge right now. I'm sure you're seeing that too. Everybody's watching videos and stories and behind the scenes, and they want to see realness. They don't want to see the perfectly curated stuff all the time. Right. Is that kind of what you guys are seeing too?
Yeah. Well, and that's just broad-based marketing. Like video is huge everywhere. If you have video on your website, you're going to have more of an interaction with the viewer, with the audience. It makes sense that stories are so popular from a marketing perspective.
And do you see that continuing for a while or dying out? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And shorter content or personalized content, anything that can be customized. And I think it feels more personal again, just on Instagram when you're watching a story of someone like whatever they're doing, making dinner or showing you their backyard or showing you their behind the scenes process. It feels like you are their friend.
Yeah.
With the ability to DM someone, that's a huge thing.
Right.
You have access
more
to people
reachable
that you didn't have before. Yeah.
Right.
You could leave a comment on a blog a couple years ago, but they may or may not respond, but a DM feels like a higher chance of connection.
Yeah. And if you're responding to your DMs, you can build your tribe a lot better.
Yeah.
I am working with a client right now who has a massive YouTube following, and but she also has a really popular blog. And when I was working with her through her like she was one of those clients who she's just doing way too much. And it's like holding her back from getting really good at one or two things and moving her business forward. And so when I was coaching with her the last 2 times that we met, I was talking like, where can we focus? And we did an audience survey of her audience, which she got back over 800 responses.
Oh my
incredible.
God.
Amazing. Like
that's some great data.
Is incredible.
Yeah.
And her audience is mostly moms and women who are really big into like productivity and organizing and things like that, trying to like figure out how to be better at using their time and scheduling and things like that. So she asked the question, would you rather consume content in a video, via audio, or reading? And I told her to ask this question specifically because she wanted to identify as a writer and she didn't want to give up the blog. And I said, but your blog doesn't have, like, your YouTube is huge and your blog isn't. Yeah. And so like YouTube is where you're going to make money. Yeah. And so when she saw the results, and I mean, the results were very firm that even over audio, video was what they wanted.
Yeah.
Video was and she didn't just pull her, she pulled Instagram, she pulled her email list, she pulled her blog list, and she pulled her YouTube. So it wasn't just YouTubers saying, yes, we want YouTube.
Yeah.
Videos.
Across the board.
Yeah. So being able to ask that question and find that out helped her realize, okay, I want to be a writer, and she was spending hours writing blog posts, hours.
And it wasn't paying off. Yeah.
And I was like, you've got to cut that time so you can focus on creating videos, which also take a long time to produce.
A lot of writing too. Yeah.
You're gonna, make the most impact. And her mindset was that if she did that, then she couldn't be a writer. I'm like, do you have to write the script for your YouTube video? You are still a writer.
Yes. It's that pivot idea.
It is packaged differently. And so working through that anyway was really cool. But the point of this is video is huge. Women want it. And like, as much as those of us, like Ashley and I get it, we love to read a physical book. Yeah. But it's just time. I want something I can listen to while I'm doing something else, please.
Yep.
Totally.
Or watch.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, I mean, even videos, like I listen to videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's another trend as I'm seeing on Instagram. Everybody's watching stories on mute. So you've got to have captions.
Yeah. Like probably 90% of the time from my own personal account, it's on mute.
Oh yeah. Because we're in our beds with kids or husbands or whatever in the dark, like processing info.
Yeah. In a public restroom.
Yep.
Not anymore, but
just in this day and age, it's like there's so much information we're sifting. Yeah.
Yeah. And also I feel like the captions, because I can read faster than I can hear, right? I can see if this story is applicable to me.
Yes.
And then I will tap through if it's not, if the caption doesn't resonate.
Exactly.
Good point.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so awesome. Thanks for sharing your thoughts and some of your history. And it's always great to talk to other mompreneurs. I think it makes me feel like, it's hard to talk business with like family. And even some of my friends, they're like, yeah, you're great, but to be able to talk to other mompreneurs who are in the same boat, who are feeling very similar, it always is validating to be like,
absolutely.
okay.
I feel the same. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you
thank you so much. It was so fun talking to you.
It was so great. We finally, we had a hard time connecting with all our schedules, but hooray. Yeah. I will definitely put your contact information below and people can reach out to you. And you guys are you still offering
We are, yes.
Package? Yeah, tell us what you're offering.
So we have one more week in April where we're signing up clients we're not signing up clients, we're signing up for freebies. We have 3 freebie options. You can sign up for a free 30-minute call for us. We won't pitch to you. But you can pick a brand audit, which is my personal favorite. I think you get the most value.
Yes.
Or you can pick a 30-minute call where you just ask us for marketing advice. And then the third one, that one's great too. And then the third one is content ideation. So if you're stuck with content ideation, like you need some ideas, we'll do a 30-minute brainstorm with you. But again, my personal favorite is that brand audit. I feel like we kind of get all of that in one. So
love that.
I think the content ideation session.
Yeah, that's your favorite. That's true. I've enjoyed the brand audits more, and Rachel's enjoying the content.
But the important thing to know is that the reason that we're doing this is because we know times are hard with coronavirus and everything like that. And so we were just trying to find a way that we could give back and help other female businesses right now.
Love that.
So we're just because of like I mean, we've done almost 20 calls.
That's
so
awesome.
far, and that's very, very time consuming for us. And we're trying to give that back, but that's why we're not pitching to you. There's no strings attached. Just come and we'll do something to see if we can help you get some more clarity in your business and your next steps. And hopefully that can help some other businesses during this time.
Yeah.
Love that.
It's been super valuable, I think, for a lot of people. That's the feedback we've had. And it's been really fulfilling for me and Rachel. Like it's just really filled our tank to talk to all these different women and talk about their businesses and see how we can help them. It's been awesome.
I love that. And thank you for offering that, especially at this time. I think we're all looking to get some help and connection and pivot in our business.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you so much. I'll put your info below. Appreciate you both, ladies. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.